Are you still muted?
How did you do this?
All right, so thank you everyone for coming around.
To Behind the Book, the title that it will not be.
Yeah, we have Brian in the corner over here, and the corner of mutation, he's unable to speak.
Which is the way I prefer my Brian J. Nordens, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know what you did.
And the funniest part is that he was working until you clicked a button, and now we just have to watch him get slowly more infuriated.
Peace.
Michael.
Peace.
He's so mad.
I'm fine.
I'm not, he says with absolutely no sound.
I'm fine.
You're fine. I can read your lips, but unfortunately this is a podcast, so you do need to figure out your audio.
Wow, this is going to be a video-only podcast, I guess.
You have to turn on subtitles. We'll hire a translator to read his lips.
Need someone with the hands.
Yeah. This guy sells how many books?
Quite a few. Yeah, like...
Insane.
He spent 20 years writing the finishing of this series, but, you know...
Oh,
Is
yeah.
this working?
Hey,
You can't respond, Brian. We don't hear you.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
I love the... Well, Michael, while we're waiting for Brian to join us, do you want to give a quick summary of what this podcast is supposed to be?
All right, this summary. Wow. Okay, we're ripping start today.
Testing.
On this podcast, we're chatting with other authors. We're not chatting necessarily about books all the time. We're talking to see who the authors actually are, or hanging out with them. We're just like, you're seeing how we are actually behind the scenes, which is technical difficulties today. But
most days,
honestly. Sometimes it's cameras, sometimes it's audio.
Learning why maybe we should stay behind the book.
For those of you that don't know.
Why?
I love that Brian still can't talk. Brian, figure it out, man. Change your audio device. I don't know.
I don't know.
How great would it be if he's actually just not speaking?
It's just a bit. No. Because I know Brian well enough to know that the irrational anger in his eyes is real.
Yes.
This is perfect. He'll be tilted before he even gets a word in, which is exactly, like where I like to have him. We do the whole podcast without Brian being able to speak a word. We just talk about Brian for the night, tell Brian stories. When
Brian was 3 years old.
Gosh, you guys go way back.
Oh, no. All right, well.
Did you mute yourself, Brian? Is the little thing over on the right, did you click the little T?
No.
I muted and then unmuted. Now it says you're muted in the bottom right. Uh-huh.
No,
and now I'm trying to talk. Nope.
I love this for you.
This is the best one we've ever done. I've heard authors are shy, but this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's so mad.
Anxiety.
Leave and rejoin. I don't know, Brian. Do something.
Well, you've got a face for TV, but apparently not the voice, which is actually, he's probably the most well-trained out of all of us to actually speak.
Testing.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Oh, like you went through speech training.
Yeah. Yes, Brian, go ahead.
Brian,
I see you
yes.
raising your hand. Go ahead.
Raising your hand.
You and your back.
Now.
Refresh the page. I don't know.
Your speakers is the Rodecaster. You know what I think it is? I think both are routing through the same thing.
Well, I think it was working until you changed the resolution 9 times, and every time it flickered, it came back from a flicker, and suddenly he didn't have audio.
Please tell me.
There we go.
There you go. Hi.
Oh my god.
You're now frozen though. Now you're not.
There we go. Actual recording is higher quality. That's what it says. So interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
I bet it's higher quality than what we've performed so far.
No, you do not understand how livid I am. It was working perfectly until that went live. And then it became the all piling on Brian. I am so sure that this was orchestrated. Also, Behind the Book is a name. I'm just coming back with all of the receipts now, okay? That was, humanizing the authors. Let's show their uncontrollable rage. Yes, this is how I'll sell more books. Thank you both for having me on.
Whoa, nobody promised anything about selling books.
No one did. No one told me anything about this.
Yeah, it's a time to spend with your friends. I'm so sorry. Because we're on 3 different countries coming together across the world to spend time together, and we don't get to except for special occasions, and you're complaining.
And Andrew
I'll see
wanted
you in
this
like
later
2 weeks.
because he needed to sleep in, and his roommates didn't want to wake up early.
Oh, yeah, you scheduled this for 9 a.m. on a Saturday like a psychopath.
What time do you normally get up?
Like 9 a.m.
I don't know. Like, well, okay, I can't ask Brian that because we know.
Yeah, O'Brien doesn't sleep, so.
How dare you? First of all, like,
We're humanizing you, Brian.
yeah, okay, fair. You know, you're just telling the truth. Like, that's not humanized.
Is it narcolepsy, where it's the one where you like randomly sleep for like 12 hours?
I thought that was the one where you steal stuff.
No, that's
No.
kleptomania.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Brian.
Well, he has
The more
both.
you learn.
So, fun thing that Brian played recently was Outer Worlds, and Brian got kleptomania.
Oh
As
man, it
a-
ruined my whole game.
Yeah. Is it like a bad trait?
It's a bad trait that if you see anything, you'll steal it. And in your populated areas in the game, you quite literally just steal from shops you walk past. You can't go to any settlement to hand in any quest because the moment you steal something, they're like, hey, stop right there. And I'm like, no, I'm sorry. So yeah, it's absolutely awful. But you can wear a bucket on your head. And if you stand completely still, nobody can see you or perceive you. So I just stand in the middle of settlements and just steal everything while no one can see where I am. But yeah, I started the game again.
Fair enough. Yeah, I got that's the most lit RPG thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, you stand in Times Square and just with a bucket on your head. I guess you kind of blend in with Times Square with a bucket on your head. But
Yeah, wait, it works.
yeah, this is
The Legend of Bucket Man.
This isn't a broken mechanic at all. Yeah.
No, it never would be.
No,
So,
What?
sorry, no, because like when I rejoined, my thumbnail now looks insane.
That's great.
No.
That's a great focus.
We had a really good one. Like
Everybody had
we
a different one.
We had author pose, and now it's like,
It's true to life. Do you feel human yet?
yeah. Sorry, ask your questions. I will dance the monkey dance. Let's do this.
So how
I
did
was
you-
gonna say that, like, Brian, you should at least tell them what you write. Okay, we're not, it's not like a full book pitch, but like, who are you? Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
I knew he was gonna get mad about that. Listen, if somebody stumbled across this podcast, they're like, "Wow, behind the book. I love books. Let's get behind him." And they're like, "Who's this guy? What do you have to say
Well,
for yourself?"
When you open the page of the most mediocre book on the market, the
Ironbound?
foreword, the acknowledgements, yeah,
I
it
know
literally
what he was
says
going-
Brian
I
J.
know it.
Norton to my arch nemesis. I've never met this man, so I don't know why he's put my name in the front of it.
Show
That's
us
weird.
the dedication page.
There's so many people he should be grateful to, but me, of all people, like, I don't know.
There it is.
To my mortal rival, Brian J. Norton, I hope you choke on Quest Academy. Oh, I wrote that. There you go. And Caviar.
He says he's never met me, but for some reason I exist as a character in Quest Academy that he made a massive dork.
Yeah.
Such a dork.
But honestly,
use
I
the
think
voice that
talking
you
about the
use?
humanization, I thought like true characterization was to really share with the world what you're really like, which is a massive dork. So like at least people will know your name now.
Finally, somebody.
Finally. Yeah.
We're gonna tell that story at some point during this podcast.
I don't come out of it well, but
I just realized Chatfield is also a character in Quest Academy. Not nearly as much of a dork.
no, but detestable at points though.
Yeah.
That's true. Just like real
Hated
life.
by many at points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once again, I'm trying to write true characterization. The dork and the despised one. Like, this is us.
Hey,
Let's go.
there you go. That's the podcast name.
Yeah. The dork and the
Despised
despised one. We're the double D's. Woo. Yeah, we're not. Come on. Better name than that.
Work in progress.
Behind the book. It just
Listen.
sounds so dirty. Behind the book.
You only think that because you used to moonlight as a romance author.
Yes, continue.
And that was that segue.
I'll have you know it was erotica, so...
Yeah,
romance.
there's no romance in erotica. I apologize.
No. What I mean is that the romance author would have the pitchforks, whereas the erotica authors are like, don't look at me. No one can know who I am. So it's great.
We were actually just talking about how heated rivalry has like gone gangbusters for like being a adapted. I think it's a single book, but it's like part of a series because romance writers do it weird, where they've got like, oh, this is all kind
Not
of
weird,
a series.
different.
Different.
Yeah, it's like all connected worlds or like whatever. I mean, I guess that happens a lot in fantasy, but not usually they bleed into each other a little more.
Yeah, and I think it's also like more books. Like this is like one standalone in this universe.
It's a set of standalones.
Yeah, and then you get like a mention of someone else somewhere else.
You're like, oh my gosh, they were in that one.
It's a really interesting one when you look at the line of it. It's kind of like female main character, male character, or whatever the duo is. And then it's like they go on, they have their happy for now or happy ever after, HEAHFA. And then it's essentially someone else, like a friend of one of that main cast from book 1. Then the book follows them for book 2 and them finding love and their circumstance. And then, so the wider world or of like a group are essentially, it's like them pairing off. So you still have, it's part of a series and it's a connected world, but it's, you know, you're following different protagonists. So people will pick out a side character and be like, oh, wow, I really hope it's them that gets the storyline next. So that's one of the things I found in a lot of the romance ones.
And the eternally single one, they're just like, just not you. Just never you.
I think that's the role I play.
I'm sorry. Have you met Brian?
I have.
Older.
I think I am.
Brian?
Yes. 88?
89.
Yeah. Me. You're the dragon. Or you're the rat. Sorry, it was just a guess. What's it?
I don't remember. What was 1989
If it was a rooster and you're a cock, that would also be funny.
It was the snake.
Oh no. So yeah, the devolved form of a dragon. So,
okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, dragon's gonna win at everything.
Not poison.
Yeah, it can cook literally everything else on the Zodiac and eat them.
I just want you to know that I did look it up just in case you were wrong, and I was really hoping 1988 would have been the year of the donkey, but no such luck.
No. Anyway, podcast people, ask your questions.
Yes. It's not, we're not asking you, we're hanging out, man. This is about friendship.
Oh, this is writing chapters.
I should be writing chapters? Okay. I'm so sorry. Huh. How many chapters have you written in the last month and a half, Brian?
How many of those were not on Sunday or Monday?
We were on a break.
I like how your book is your like major relationship.
Yeah,
it's so a rough time today. Okay.
What? You literally are the Ross Geller of writing.
I have nothing to say to that.
I think
which is really unfortunate. But
yeah. and quite rare.
Yeah. Like, we all want to be a Chandler. You know, we don't want to be a Joey, but we end up being a Ross.
No, I'm Chandler.
I'm pretty sure he's popular, though.
As Brian just uncorks a bottle.
Yeah, sorry. Like, we're making Ross an alcoholic.
All right. Well, now we know what kind of podcast this is, I guess.
Yeah. We have to do everything we can for the Irish stereotype.
You're nailing it, honestly.
When you drank from your tumbler, what did you say? You were like the most tumbler?
You guys called it a tumbler, which is just not what we would call it. We wouldn't call it that either.
Big cup. Sorry, it's America.
Yeah.
Big cup.
You guys called it a tumbler, so I said for the most tumbly boy, something like that. I don't know. I don't remember things that I say, dude. They come from like the dark place. I mean, yeah, but like again, we would never call this a tumbler. So I just followed the bit, you know, and it was not a good time, and I regretted it.
I didn't know that Vibe Police was going to be one of the co-hosts.
Really? Because Chatfield was coming.
We have Michael on fact checked.
What?
Yeah, he's looking to see if Americans use Tumblr, and like yes, but no.
I was just watching someone.
It's a site that has a lot of erotic fan fiction. Different Tumblr.
Tumblr, yeah, exactly.
That's the dark place. Dear God.
Doing Brian as our first guest was a mistake. I mean, I don't know what era.
How do you humanize this? Like,
we're trying, but it's tough. I think as he just sips whiskey neat at his desk and complains that we're keeping him from his writing. All right, Hemingway, we're so sorry, bro.
I was writing with another author, and I was like, "Are you drinking like wine?" He's like, "No." He like types no, and then immediately just grabs a whiskey bottle and just pours it in. I was like, "Okay." And he's like, "It's 2 p.m. It's allowed." I was like, "Okay."
The fact that wasn't rum makes me say it wasn't jazz. But who was the author?
Lauren.
Name.
Lauren?
Lorin.
Lauren.
I'm sure he's Swedish.
Okay.
Name that author from their 2 p.m. drink during writing.
Now that's a fun game.
That is.
I can always tell when I go back in editing. I was like, ooh, I might have been having a little sip or two during this part. I used the same word 5 times in a row.
During COVID, when I wrote wildcards, I would put up a poll on Royal Road being like, can you determine which one of these chapters was written drunk? And everyone was wrong because the answer was all of them. And they were like, wow, you have a talent. And I'm like, no, I have a problem. But yeah.
I don't know. I wrote like half of Emerilla absolutely drunk.
But it shows. But that
Maybe
shows.
maybe we shouldn't humanize authors anymore. Maybe we've humanized them too much.
You're like, I just got to get this chapter done. And you're like, I'm hammered. And you're like, this is a great time. I can't drive, but I can type. And then you're like, you wake up to it the next day being like, okay, that's where the character decided to go with that. Sure. And then just work off of that somehow. Yeah.
Hey, Hemingway said write sober, edit drunk. So it. Wait, no. Write drunk, edit sober. There it is. I was close.
Hemingway.
I mean, hey, he survived 2 plane crashes. He knew something about something.
Wow.
Yeah, gravity.
Fair point.
But yeah, it's the story's flowing so well. Yes, yes, it is.
And so is the whiskey.
Glug, glug.
Do you think that's what Dinneman meant?
I don't know, but now it's
Oh, he's
just
never getting away from that.
In my head canon, that is what it means.
yeah.
I never, ever want to see what comes out of the Rule 34 on that series.
I feel like the series is so weird that it has to go normal. Both of you made a face that I didn't
No,
like.
as like Rule 34 ends up breaking things. Like,
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Like everyone Rule 34 to Quest Academy after the first book.
Yeah, but it's not weird.
No, everyone
It's not.
accuses the author of Rule 34 in Quest Academy.
Well, did they read Quest Academy?
Yes, quite a number of people did, Andrew. Get bent.
You know what? It's time to tell the story, Brian. How did we become rivals?
So, I think
Story time.
so. What happened was I went to 20 Books to 50K, which is a community for aspiring authors and people that are, you know, like trying to become full-time. The mantra of that group was that if you write 20 books, you would be able to earn 50,000 per annum, you know, which was enough at the time to retire to Cabo. Obviously, inflation. And everything. So it's a dated group, but it was fabulous for new authors coming in. I met Andrew at 20 Books to 50K in Vegas. And when we met, he, you know, when we first met, he told me that he was a YouTuber. And I thought to myself, that's odd. Like, you know, why is he here? He's just like, oh, I write urban fantasy. I'd be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And he showed me a BookTube channel with 5,000 subscribers. And I looked at it and I was like, it's a little bit odd that someone would call themselves a YouTuber with that low of a subscription count. But you know what? I'm not going to, you know, rub his face in it or anything like that. I'd be like, well done you. And that was that. Okay? So we fast forward to Dragon Con. And when I went into Dragon Con
The next year.
the next year,
So 8 months later, something like that.
and I was under the guise of that Andrew is a failed YouTuber with a terrible urban fantasy series. And that's like, you know, that was just from the data. Like it's irrefutable. So I then start seeing Andrew with all of these heavy hitters at meetings and I'm like, what is this? And then I see it just like, oh yeah, no, I'm friends with this person. I'd be like, how's that? Oh yeah, no, I met them through, you know, YouTube, or like I know this through this, or oh, I know this game company from there. I was like, and so I have this all going on in my head of being like, this guy fraud. Why is he here? And he like still affable, lovely guy to talk to. And, you know, every time I'm talking to him, it's quite literally just punching down. It's just punching down repeatedly and like asking like, are you okay with this? He's just like, yeah, 100%. Like this is great. In terms of like, you know, ideating for his first progression fantasy, which is now Ironbound, which came out very, very good. So I'm told. I can't read. But
there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Brian Norton cannot read.
Can't read.
I can't read. No one makes me read my own books.
These letters bite me. Well, actually, your editor does.
Yes, but, you know. So I remember going around all of this, and I was talking about social media or something, and Chatfield was the one to say, like, you know, Andrew could give you some tips on that. And I was like, Andrew could give me tips on social media and reach. Okay, let's see how this goes. And then he gave me some absolutely phenomenal advice. And I was like, holy like, you, like, why are you like, why are you failing? That's really good. And then someone said, like, you know, oh, you should probably charge you like $5,000 for that sort of advice. And I was saying, like, what, $1 for every subscriber on YouTube? And I remember all of this happening and then seeing him with all these people. I was like, is this the Make-A-Wish Foundation where we all pretend that Andrew is, you know, an author? Like, obviously the hair loss made me think of something terminal. So I was thinking to myself, like, what the is this? Fast forward, we're at the bar and I order a round of drinks, and then drinks are done. It's fantastic. Myself is sitting, Andrew's sitting, a few others. And then the next round comes and I'm like, I'll get this. And Andrew's like, no, I can get this. And I was just like, come on, you write urban fantasy. And I think it was it Steve that came over and be like, oh yeah, I love this guy's stuff. I'd be like, if he liked you, he would have signed you. Which they subsequently did.
He was like, you know what? That's great advice. I'll do just that.
And it was so funny because I was like, yeah, there's only like 4 readers of urban fantasy. And we found one of them. It's Steve from... And so then he whips out like this metal card. And I was just like, urban fantasy's not doing that bad. And Andrew looked at me and he just was like, everything clicked into place. It'd be like, what do you think I do? And I was like, you're a YouTuber. And he's like, yeah. I was like, of a booktube channel with 5,000 subscribers. And it was every Christmas came early. He looked me dead in the eye and was like, Google me. And you know, at that point, you You had at the time 1.3 million subscribers on your gaming channel for sigils. And it was seeing the emotional roller coaster of all of this happening where you're like, oh my God, this is hilarious. This is absolutely amazing. Wait a minute. You were punching down. You thought I was and like, they're just like, what the That's so mean. I was like, I apologized. I asked if you were okay with it. It was like, because I thought we knew. You were a dick. I was like, I'm sorry. And then he literally led me around. He was like, oh, let's go tell Bryce O'Connor, author of Iron Prince. And I was like, no. That's like the biggest comparative story for Quest Academy. When people say Quest Academy, then they say Iron Prince. I was like, no. I cannot have this being like, my first introduction to Bryce O'Connor. And then
it was. Flash
forward 2 minutes, and we have Bryce O'Connor kneeling on the ground in a high-pitched voice, be like, Make-A-Wish Foundation. And I'm like, I'm so sorry.
Actually, because I was across the bar. I'd sent you off to go talk to Andrew and ask him these questions. And all I hear is just Bryce just high-pitched laugh into the ceiling.
He was on the floor. He was on the floor.
Collapsed to his knees and just laughing and just going, Make-A-Wish Foundation. And like, everyone in the bar is like, what is happening? Is Bryce okay? Is this okay? And Andrew is nearly crying. You're mortified, just going, this is it now. This is actually it.
Oh, and we even forgot about the Sean Wilson thing.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Right.
So the Sean Wilson thing is where he comes, oh man, he comes up to me, he's like, oh man, my son is such a fan of, Andrew and his YouTube. And, that it was brilliant to get a photo. I was just like, what are the chances? Oh, I'll tell you, 1 in 5,000.
And he was sitting next to me when this happened. Like, when we were at the bar, it was like you, me, Sean Wilson, and Sean Dunning, I think. And they all knew. And it was the funniest thing because literally, yeah, you made that joke about like, oh, maybe Urban Fantasy is doing better. And immediately I was like, well, there's been a miscommunication. And then I was like, oh, I've always dreamed of a moment like this. Somebody's challenging me on a thing that I just have. And then I was like, and it's Brian? This is amazing. And then, yeah, when I said, what is it that you think that I do? I will never forget. There's just this little like flicker of uncertainty that went behind your eyes where you were like, something's happening. Something's happening.
I don't like this.
Not my finest showing, no.
I remember Dinneman was doubled over laughing because he knew. We went over and told him.
Yeah, and then he turns around to me and is like, "You're such a and I and had I known how the cards would have played out, I would have been like, "Can I get that as A+ content for my books?" And be like, "You're such a
He'd probably give it to you.
He probably would,
Yeah,
honestly.
No, but I have an even better one from him where he offered to tattoo my ass. You know, at my first Vegas, and I was like, absolutely not. If you think about, you know, how much worth that would have been worth now.
Yeah, that's a mistake.
Mistakes? Me? Book one? What?
It's not like you can use it.
No.
Oh.
Didn't Jeff Hayes
just
got
start
his?
mooning everyone. I'm literally moonlighting.
Yeah, just cut a section out of your jeans and be like, Matt Dinneman did this. Yeah.
Yeah, didn't he just tattoo Jeff Hayes?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Like I thought
Yeah,
it was a
yeah.
notable thing. Yeah.
That could have been you.
Mm.
Could have been you, Brian.
Less known.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like
Yeah.
how I have to search this. Jeff Hayes ass tattoo.
I don't think it's there.
No,
It's
it'll
here.
be on TikTok.
No, I meant location-wise.
I'm pretty sure it's his butt.
Wow, good for Jeff.
But yeah.
And now that's lore. Every year when the authors convene at all these conventions, people now introduce me to other authors as Andrew with a small YouTube channel, and then they all giggle. And then the poor person who gets pulled into this is like, what?
You remember the
Yeah,
Facebook
what's
post where
going on?
literally everyone compounded, every single person, all different, commented with one of my misconceptions about Andrew. And the fact that there was like 12 of them was just magical. Yeah.
Yeah, the hindsight of us revisiting all of these conversations that we had just been talking past each other was hilarious, because there was one part we were talking about the gaming industry, and I was like, oh, well, Brian and I are both like, know the gaming industry. Like, and I'm like trying to get Brian to back me up on this stuff, and he's looking at me like I'm an idiot. And I was like, all right, Brian, like what? I'm just,
Yeah, no, it's just like I think you had said my friends at Riot or something.
Yeah,
like that,
so
when
yeah,
I was saying,
yeah.
like, my friends at Larian, and I was saying like, buddy, I worked there, like, you know, like for 3 years. And then you were like, you know, yeah, but like all of this. And I just remember when I was saying about like, oh yeah, AMD. And then you like literally just pick up like a process in his packaging. You're like, I sent this to review. And I'm like, what the Why are you getting sponsorship deals? And it'd be like, you know, like I clearly don't understand YouTube. But no, it just turns out you were a pretty big deal.
I want you to know that my mother laughed really hard when I told her that story.
You sent me a message.
I did. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, my mother laughed at me.
Oh yeah,
And she said, like, well, Brian, what did we learn? I was like, absolutely nothing. I didn't
nothing.
know."
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went home for Thanksgiving. I was like, what have you been up to? I was like, ooh, do I have a story? I do have a good story.
This is why we write, just to put that stuff down and be like, I want to immortalize this.
No, that's why we, you know, write so we can get our revenge.
Yeah, and then weirdly, a character named Andrew, Brian messaged me, right? So after all this happened, Brian messaged me and he was like, hey, I want to make it up to you. Can I make you a character in Quest Academy?
God.
And I was like, oh yeah, that'd be fun. Sure, why not? Because I had already read a couple. I knew Chatfield was in there. Jed, I recognized a bunch of I was like, I know these people. And I was like, sure, that'd be funny. I'd love to join the cast. And so then Brian messages me and is like, just so you know, like book 5's coming out. You're in it. So keep your eyes open for your thing. And then, when I said yes, I didn't realize that you were going to just full name me. That it was going to be Andrew Sigils Givler appears out of nowhere and is like, call me by my hero name or else.
No, it was, you have to use my hero name.
But I just want to remind everyone that this was when Brian was like, I want to make it up to you. Like, why don't I make you a character in Quest Academy?
You've now been immortalized as a dork.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
much more than the thousands of videos of you on the internet. But, like, you know what I mean? In the written form.
Well, that was when Ironbound was already done at that point. So I was like, well, he's going in the dedication. That was my return shot. You are in book 2.
I know. And what's my name?
Brianus.
So Brian Anus.
Brianus. Yeah. That's just, Latin.
Yeah. Yeah.
Language has gone too far.
And did you enjoy writing the character so much that he's now going to
He's
appear in
become
this
important.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I was a meme and then he became important. I was like, son of a...
This happens with rookie
So I have to describe
authors.
this tall man with a big goatee all the time.
Like, this is a rookie author mistake. So Andrew will never appear in the book because it's called a once-off.
That's not true. I got referenced in the next book.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, but who knows? You might have an amazing moment or like.
I was quite powerful, so what a leecher? That's crazy, crazy low on the tier list.
The lowest.
Yeah, crazy.
But no, who knows? Like, I'm a progressive author. Maybe Chatfield's character and Andrew's character could let's see how the behind the book goes, like the chemistry. By the way, we're
gonna start playing hockey.
I love the name change. Andrew's.
Can you even skate?
No,
I can't either. So we're on that one.
Yeah, I know. It's just not gonna work out.
So
this all reminds me of one of my favorite movies of all time, A Knight's Tale.
Oh yeah.
Where after Chaucer gets all his gambling debts, and they buy back his clothes, he turns to the gambling guys and he says, "I will eviscerate you in fiction." And that's just what it feels like. This is what we're turning into.
So one of the, because all about the humanization, Michael Chatfield, when I met him for the first time, we were in 20 books to 50k. We went over to the Ellis Island casino.
Yeah.
That was the second time. Or
second
time.
Yeah. So it was the second time. And it was your birthday, and it was, or was it?
Yeah.
We were supposed to go to Harmon Cooper's birthday or something.
No,
or you were supposed to.
So what had happened was, we went to Vegas for 20 books to 50k, and then we went out for dinner, and we were like, "Oh, like it was my birthday. We're gonna go for dinner. Go out for dinner. It's super nice." We get back to the hotel, and everyone's like, "I'm gonna go to sleep," and Brian is like, "What? Like, it's like 9-10 o'clock. You're gonna go?" No. And so Brian and I, everyone else goes to sleep. Brian and I go to a bar, and we're like, we'll just have a beer or two, and it'll be fine. We proceed to drink for 14 hours, and I show up to a panel that I get myself on somehow drunk. 14
hours?
Now, in our defense,
we were doing doubles. It's not a
so
good
this
defense.
was the thing that broke me, because a lot of people when they meet me, you'll be shocked to find this. A lot of people when they meet me think that I'm somewhat smart. I am not. And the best example is my deductive reasoning through that 14-hour period. And when we get to, let's say, 7 hours in, I was a bit of a Sherlock Holmes, okay? Where I was like, when I order the drinks, they're drinkable. When Chatfield orders the drinks, it's like the sniff of tonic. You can't even, it's like you can actually see it evaporating.
Eviscerating.
I was going to say eviscerating because you said eviscerating and it was on top of mind. And I was like, no, it was like effervescent and then evaporating. And then I combined them and it failed. Thank you for pointing that out, Andrew.
Have you seen The Glass Onion?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Like that guy in The Glass Onion.
Yeah.
Like I did that last week where I said a word and then we're all like, yeah, that doesn't sound right.
That doesn't feel, yeah.
But when Chatfield was going up, he was tipping heavily. So the guy took that as tonic optional. So I was getting doubles in glasses like this. And I was there like, that's just gin. That's just gin. And this being like, oh yeah, the stomach's a bit, iffy. And I was saying like, oh, are you thinking about calling it a night? He's like, nah, I'm just going to switch it up to bourbon and ginger ale. Ginger's good for the stomach. And I'm like, not sure about the bourbon. But then we just powered through. Chatfield was getting doubles the whole night. I was getting singles. He never told me.
Cheap bastard.
And I never realized. I was just like, they were just so strong.
I think he was doing quads by the end of it. Because he was just like, I started watching him doing the pour. Because when you're like, that's really strong, what are you doing? I was like, oh. And I looked behind you as he was pouring it, and he just kept going. And then it was just like, he's like, there you go.
But
I think it got worse when I said no ice. Because he was like, oh, more volume then.
I got more space.
Yeah, and I had more space in my tum-tum. So we did all of this, and then Chatfield was like, oh, hey man, I just need to pick up some stuff, and I need to go over to the hotel. So I went over to the hotel. Can't lie down because you will die. This is after our 14 hours of drinking. And then he takes out this bag of drugs. And I'm like, oh my God, it makes sense. This is why you're Chatfield. I am so lethargic. I'm dying. I want to just die. And he is there like, oh, this will perk us up. And I'm like, what is it? He's like, zinc, magnesium, calcium. And I was like, what's the other one? Was it potassium? There was just,
Omegas.
it was omegas. I was like,
Well, okay, this might be an American thing, but when you said a bag full of drugs, that's not what that means here.
that's what
Yeah,
I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
this is going to be a pick-me-up. And he quite literally is like, all of the natural nutrients that our bodies need. And I'm like, oh, you son of
He
Give
threw
me
a
the
pillow
drugs.
across the room at me. While I was just getting him. He's like, just
I
like,
was
you know-
so angry.
I'm just glad that Chatfield came today without his nose strip that like holds his nose open so that he
man.
can breathe enough oxygen. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like
that's
the
also
thinnest
another drinking
linebacker.
incident.
So,
Starting to notice the trend.
but, so,
It's one.
he went to a panel. I went to play D&D with Luke Gygax in a special game in
I know,
one of
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
suites.
the game, yeah.
And I walked in, I was just like, Luke, I am so sorry about this, but I've been drinking all night and I will fall asleep if I don't continue drinking. So would you like to drink with me? And I took out a giant bottle of rum mixers and he's like, it's 10 a.m., Brian. And I was like, I'm so sorry. And he's like, let's do it. And we just continued to get trashed. I literally looked over at Paddy Flynn and
Oh my gosh.
Paddy Finn, sorry. I looked over at Paddy Finn, who's playing with me, and like he's also Irish, so I thought like this is brilliant. I was like, Paddy, would you be able to like slap me awake if I fall asleep? He's just like, Brian, I'm tripping balls. I'm like, God, Ireland has failed me once again. And we proceeded to have the most incredible campaign where Centaur, like, you know, jumped off a cliff with Paddy on my back and I failed dramatically. But yeah, that was a great time had by all. And then we just powered through the day.
Yeah. And then didn't go to Harmon Cooper's birthday that night.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think humanizing the authors was a mistake.
Yeah.
It's more
It's
like
like
drinking
some
adventures
curtains
with the
shouldn't be
authors.
looked behind.
Let's investigate those who withdraw and tell stories from the darkness. Shine a big old light on them. See what happens. Just cockroaches.
I'm so sorry. The fact that every episode that airs has to be followed by an apology. I'd like to apologize for the comments said on the as of yet unnamed podcast. That should be the title. As of yet unnamed.
As of yet unnamed. Working title.
It's like what's it called? Just like that really fast voice. It's just Andrew in his hero voice. I'm so sorry about it.
Before we get into a couple disclaimers about everything you're about to hear.
And then just afterwards, holy
Not suitable for audiences. Void were prohibited.
You have to unmute yourself.
Oh my gosh. Brian, when's your next series coming out?
My next series or the next book in the current series?
No, your next series.
I think we did
When
a
do you
math
want
on
it?
that.
I mean, sooner rather than later.
I don't know. Like, that's the thing. Like, there's so many ideas and there's so many things I want to work on. But in the author game, you have to be careful where you're like, you have to reassure people who's just like, don't worry, Quest Academy's not going anywhere. I'm going to continue writing Quest Academy. And then it's just like, however, I would like to be able to flex certain creative muscles and work on something else so that I don't want to kill myself. So that's a fine balance there, where like you never want to resent the stories that you're working on because it might potentially show. Completely different topic. 10 rounds, Michael. No?
That was crazy. That was crazy. My gosh. This is the most out-of-pocket thing.
No, like, well, because, like, I wrote, like, Death Knight while I was doing 10 Realms because I just had to have a palate cleanser. Because it was like, okay, 10 Realms is a lot of fun, but I need to write something else. Because, like, I don't know, like, I think when you get to, like, 2 million words in a series, you're like, okay, this is a lot.
So you're saying I need to write another 3 books before I get to have these feelings? I'm at 1.4, Andrew, just for context.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what I'm at. I don't think I might be at 1 million, but not, or no, almost.
What book are you on?
My 5th urban fantasy is about to come out. And
Oh,
my
you're
second.
collectively. Sorry. I
Yeah,
thought you were
yeah, yeah.
talking
Oh, yeah,
about
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Iron
No,
Man.
no,
I
no,
was
no.
like, but
No,
I
no.
don't know if...
No. When the second book comes out, I'll be at like 375.
Yeah, no,
I was
it's...
talking to our mutual friend, and he was like, yeah, I'm just going to do this one book as its own thing. It's like 600, 800,000 words. And I was like,
It's Benjamin Cry. 100% Benjamin Cry.
Yeah.
That
It's
is
a very
that
bad
is
move.
Good work.
it's Ben who has like at times written like 100,000 words and be like, nope, this story isn't going anywhere, and then just stops and be like,
Yeah.
why? The man has never written a book 3. He has like 4 series and all of them cap at 2.
Duology.
No.
No.
They're all trilogies or beyond. He's just like, oh,
He's got
I could
3
just
twos.
pivot.
Yeah.
I will say book 3s are hard.
like I think it was it Jordan Con where everyone in the panels was like, oh man, like, and then at Lit RPG Con the running joke was like, you'll really understand when you get to a book 3, and then just look at Ben, or like asking Ben questions like, what was the hardest part about like getting to book 3?
I think
And he loved it. It was
someone
good.
asked that question, and then you were in the corner, and you just said writing it into the microphone, and Ben was just like, I would agree. I would agree.
Man,
That's so mean-spirited. And I
Is it-
appreciate it.
Is it?
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, what's motivation if not a knife at your back?
can you tell he was born in England?
Oh, yeah. One of my favorite things about Chatfield is if you mess with him enough and his
The
other
accent
accents
switch.
start to slip out. Yeah. That's a good one. Every once in a while, he'll go full Canadian or he'll go full British, and either one is phenomenal to experience.
Yeah.
And then you call him out on it, and then he can't not do it, and then he like reboots, and it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Just see the loading error, just like
It's like a memory leak of the mind until he's just
And it's
gone.
funny, like I have caught him in a feedback loop of it's the thing of that, it's the thing of that, it's the thing of that, and just like slowly getting further and further away from you.
I was staying over at Brian's house, and there was, I don't know, maybe it was a thing of that part, right? Not great. I'm stone cold sober today as well.
You just showed people how to access Chatfield's like internal menus. Like you hit this button combo and you get in there and start messing with the software, dude.
It's like it's like the San Andreas like game hack.
Yeah. You say it 3 times, his head goes down, and he's like, "Yeah, it's ready for command."
Yeah, but it's like the entire UI is just executables. And it just like, it just like go to the gym, do this, record this, do this. It's like, where's the relax button? Where's the relax button?
I haven't been relaxed since the 90s.
Drink. Like, oh, that'll do.
Yeah, I should go. We're supposed to get a foot of snow tomorrow.
Ooh.
So for now, I can look outside and I can see J.M. Clark's home. So usually what I do is if I'm like, it's a Sunday, I'll be, or Saturday, whatever day it is, I'll be like, hey, what you want to go get something to eat? Which is code for let's go drink and talk about books. And he's just like, yeah. He had the most Rasputin hat I had ever seen last time I saw him. I was like, that looks so warm, but like, my God, man, what are you? Why? And it
That's
was
what you
like,
get for living in the frozen wastes.
yeah, that's why I'm moving.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, less frozen. Yeah.
Less is good.
Is it like 26 there or something? 20?
I don't know. We don't use
Go outside.
That 26 doesn't mean anything to me.
Is it warm? I was about to Google what is the temperature in LA, and I was like, and I typed in Andrew, and I was like, no, Andrew's temperature I don't need to know.
37.
98.6.
Yeah.
37 in Celsius, you bitch.
Okay. First of all, Celsius is an inferior temperature measurement. And I'll tell you why. I don't know. I'll tell you why.
No one else.
Because the difference between degrees is
asked.
too large. Yeah, but I'm still right. Imprecise.
Have you ever seen that graph where it's like, the temperatures, where it's like freezing point and Kelvin, and like it's all of these things, like, and it's essentially like, dead,
Yeah.
dead, cold. And I was like, love it.
Yep. You're not wrong.
I'm
But
pretty
no.
sure Kelvin was like, I want to, someone should fact check this. I'll fact check this.
Thanks, Chatfield.
Do my own fact checking. Yeah, okay. So the guy who came up with Kelvin is William Thompson.
Is he Canadian?
He's Irish.
There you go.
Yeah.
Where did I go?
Ireland. Who doesn't use Kelvin.
Hey, who referenced it first?
I prefer his cartoon, Calvin and Hobbes.
That's Calvin.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome.
Is that the look you were going for, Andrew?
Disdain.
Yeah,
Calvin.
yeah. Oh, yeah, sure. Why not? I don't think you ever really wore a backwards hat. Brian, I'm going to see you soon.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to torment Cahill on his tour. Should be
Really
fun.
proud of you, by the way,
For what?
for how you pronounce the surname.
I panic every time.
Yeah. It's just, yeah.
Cahill.
Americans are like, Cahill? Like, no. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say for coming all the way across the country to see my friends or the world, but that's fine.
Yeah. No, I have to say you did come in clutch on that, because one of the things that during COVID, for example, one of the things I lost a lot was my independence of things, or just the sort of wanderlust, where I used to be very, very adventurous. Like I went off and I lived in France for a year for like school and stuff like that, and it was great. And I was just like, oh, look, it's a Wednesday. What'll I do? Let's go to Poland. Like I had that sort of like, let's go. Whereas now I'm more like the overthink every little thing and talk myself out of it rather than doing it. So, and every single time that I do go abroad, it's usually for a convention over in the States. And that's like, it's a big expense for something that I end up just like, hanging out with friends, and it's not the content that I'm looking for. So I'd like to spend time with friends that doesn't, bankrupt me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
sure.
This one, I was like, you know what? London is an hour flight for me. So just pop over and then like Edinburgh or like go to Bath, this whole thing. And then a month later, I'm going for the London Book Fair for a few extra days. So I was like, this is brilliant. Yeah, and the fact that I was saying like, oh, I'll tag along, and I fully expected Ryan to be like, no, man, it's not one of those things, off. And he was like, yeah, deadly. And when he said the message being that he was looking forward to it and he was buzzing, I was like, brilliant. Like, that's what you want. So I'm excited for it. And like,
it should be really cool. Yeah, I've never been. I've been to the UK, but I haven't been like outside of the English side really. So I'm excited to see some new things. And it was the same thing where I was like, I don't know. A lot. And then it was like, I don't know, how often do you get to see your friend go on like his first real book tour and like, hang out with a bunch of friends, and like, I don't know, it was like, it's a big moment. It's cool. Like, I'm proud of him for what he's doing, and it's neat to witness. And like, he's like, come hang out and see the magic. And it's like, what am I gonna say? No? Like, oh. I mean, I like thought about it and I was like, yeah, I should just do it. Like, how many times do you get a chance to do something like this? Not very many. Let's go.
And like, the other beautiful thing about it is how different like the world is now. Like, sorry, when you think about it, like when you were younger, you'd go into a bookshop and you'd see all these names. Now it's a case of, I'm going to a convention and I'm going to have a drink with that person. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
That is insanity to me.
Yeah.
But it's also I have to stop myself taking it for granted, because I'm like, oh yeah, well, that's just Andrew. Oh, that's just Michael. Or like, that's just Ryan. And then it really shows you, like, it opens your eyes to the rest of the world a little bit, of like oh my God, everyone's just people, which is such a basic thing.
That's the title.
Yeah.
Everybody's just people.
Everybody's
a podcast about
people.
authors.
No, because what'll happen is you'll have Seth on. Well, Seth will be super complimentary, but Haylock could be like, that's a stupid ass name. And then he'll pick something way better and profound, and you'll be like, oh, Brian is so cooked. Like, I am calling it now.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea. We should just, every guest, have them try to name the podcast for us. We're dealing with some of the largest selling authors in modern fiction. Let's just make them do it.
Yeah, usually fear gets them going, though, the most.
Yeah, that's true.
Deadlines.
Yeah.
I'll say the D word, please.
Yeah, says a man who didn't need to edit a book, but edited an entire book in the space of a week.
It needed to be edited. I am a little obsessive. It's fine.
Sure.
You know, it's bad when your editor leaves a note being like, he called me a perfectionist. My editor called me a perfectionist. And I was like, oh no. Usually this relationship is the other way around.
Yeah.
Like, I just live for the little comments that say lol and stuff from my editor. I'm like, oh my God, thank God. Like, I don't care if the readers like it. Yeah. I care if my editor likes it.
I had a comment so Brian and I share the same editor, and she said, holy, all right, now I'm going to go and actually edit that. So like, I don't know at which point she stopped editing and started reading. And then she was like, I've got to go back. And
yeah, wait a second.
Yeah, and so she had left that comment of like, I will come back to this point to do this again. And I was like, awesome. Because like, when you can like break them a little bit, and they're like, oh, I was in the story, and you're like, yes, this is so good.
That never happens.
I can't relate. Yeah.
Oh man.
But no, going back to your point about like people being just people. Like, did you guys watch the Jane Goodall like video thing?
No.
On Netflix? Okay, I watched it. Interesting, a little morbid, but
It was filmed to be released after her death, right?
yeah, it's like I think it like they were like there's a Danish show that does the same thing. They take like really famous dames and do it.
Wait for people to die.
That's
Yeah.
very very Danish. But so they did this video, God, and it was like Jane Goodall was like, there's like people who meet me and they're like, you're Jane Goodall, and then she's like, and then there's people who know me and they're like, you're Jane. And she's like, and like they have like other people have a hard time seeing me as like Jane Goodall because they've met Jane and know Jane, whereas like others like can't do the reverse. So it is interesting of like it's like your brand persona of who you are and then who you are actually, which is like actually in our people that I've met, like everyone is who they say they are, because it's like it's just way too much work to like be two different personas, which means
It is tough though, because like there's sometimes where people will take offense to the fact that you're not adhering to reverence. So for example, like, you know, that if I was to say that, like, you know, oh yeah, no, I'm gonna meet Matt, and they're like Matt Dinneman, as in like, and then they make a big deal of it, and then you're like, no, Matt's cool, like, you know what I mean? There's none of this. So I think that, sorry, go on.
I just had this happen actually. I had someone, I was like if you like this, you should go check out this book, and like here's one of my own, right? And then someone was like, I hate it that you're using these super well-known authors who are doing all of this, and then you're like sitting off of the back of like their stuff. And I was like, you mean Matt and Maxime, like the people who I talk to like pretty frequently and drink with?
Yeah.
And I've saved Matt from alcohol poisoning like once, because that night that we were drinking, Matt was just toasted, and he had like a platter of tequila shots, and he was like, I need to get rid of these, help. And then I was like, 1 second, Brian.
So
Brian.
can I just say how things have changed? No, one of my favorite ones was that, like, you know, oh no, we can't stay and drink because like we haven't eaten yet, and then a platter of food, like a giant off platter, arrives at the table, and like everyone's looking around in confusion, and then it was just like Chatfield heard that you wouldn't be able to drink unless you had eaten, and then it's like, is this like some form of like, you know, are we trapped? So no, he's just incredibly attentive.
That reminds me of, did I ever tell you that the follow-up troll that Dinneman started doing after the YouTube thing with you and me?
No.
The next year at 20 Books Vegas, I was there, and I walk into the convention hall after all the panels have ended for the day, and Matt's there, and there's like a group of people around him talking to him, and I think he was sort of like, you know, tired of being the center of attention. So I'm crossing the like empty, like, you know, 4-chamber area, and I hear Gibbler, and I turn around, and Matt's like standing on his tiptoes to like stare at me over the group of people, and like everybody turns to look at me, and he goes, how many YouTube subscribers do you have? And I was like, I don't know, 1.4 million. And he goes, wow, do you guys know Gibbler? And I was like, I hate you so much, man.
I love that so much. Like, I think one of my favorite ones for me was when I was downstairs at the Ritz at Dragon Con, and we're all just sitting in like the lounge area, and like everyone's leaving. It's like, you know, at the end of it, and Matt comes down wearing the Major BJ t-shirt with my face on it, and I'm like, Matt, and he's like, oh, I had no idea you were here. I was like, why are you wearing the t-shirt? He's like, oh, it's one of my favorite t-shirts. I was like, you unironically just wear that? And he's like, yes. And I just took a picture of it, so when people are like, oh, Brian, have you heard of Dungeon Crawler Carl? I just send them the picture, and I'm like, he's heard of me.
That is
super fan right there.
Matt's definitely the one that's like leaking into like people who aren't just like reading a lot, you know, like
Book talk is terrifying.
Oh yeah, but like literally some of my real life friends who work in gaming, we were out at a picnic one day, and she turned around to me and she's like, hey, have you heard of Dungeon Crawler Carl? And I was like, oh no. I was like, yeah. She's like, my boyfriend and I just started reading it. We're loving it. He's actually going to be in town. We're going to go to his event. Would you want to go? And I was like, yeah, I could go see Matt, I guess. And they were like, what? And I was like, what?
No, I live for the day where that like someone is going to see an author and I'm like chairing the panel and it'd be like, also shout out to you and you. Glad you could make it. Oh man.
It makes me think of like George R.R. Martin, who like entered a competition for George R.R. Martin lookalikes, and he like the rumor is that he came like third in it. It's like, that's excellent.
I do know that Charlie Chaplin came second in the Charlie Chaplin lookalike contest.
Excellent.
That one entertained me a lot.
Yeah. Because the truth is stranger than fiction, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's I don't know, like, I just love seeing how everything is progressing within Lit RPG and in my friend group. Like, seeing Ryan going off to do his tour, seeing you about to do your tour, seeing people like, you know, Andrew getting their stuff into shops. Like, it's really exciting. Like, it's super surreal for me. And I'm just so delighted for everyone.
It's a really cool time, it feels like. Like, there's a lot of new stuff happening that all seems really positive.
Like, I was a little worried about AI coming in and, like, you know, with all of the just how many stories are being put up just generated by AI, just like, I don't want to say slop, but just yeeted up to the platform. And I was like, oh, it's going to be harder for, you know, readers to find us. And I found my follower count on Amazon has actually gone up, as though readers are now like worried that they're not going to be able to find us. And they're like, better, like, you know, get notifications on this guy. And I was like, that's cool. But
I think there's something to that.
I just had an actual issue with AI stuff. Like, I had two different issues where I had one book that just blatantly copied what I had, and then they threw AI art on the top of it. And that was a huge pain in the butt to get Amazon to take it down. But they did. And then the other was someone had taken the story, and I figure what they had done is thrown it into an LLM, and then they'd had it change out some stuff. And I was like, it was so bad. But
I can give you one worse. I can give you one worse than that.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, you told me about this.
The guy that was on my Patreon, so he's paying for this. So he's paying for the chapters. He's frustrated at my pace of weekly releases. So he decides to take all of the chapters, run them through an LLM, generate the next chapters, and then get angry at me because he didn't like where the story went in the generated chapters.
True story.
Because that's clearly where they're going. And I was like, I have no words. And another patron tags in and be like, I do. This is the worst, most insulting thing I have ever seen for an author. And I was like, thank you, other patron. But
you are the hero we need.
So I'm actually speechless at that. Like, I got nothing.
Lion, the witch, and the audacity of this bitch. It was
nice.
Like, it was unbelievable. I don't know. Like, I was like, how are you happy?
Well, I mean, I would argue it doesn't seem like they are. But yeah, I think I agree with you that, like, I'm not that worried. There will probably be some people that use AI to increase their pace.
Yeah.
But I think that it is so untrustworthy in what it makes that you still, like, in order for it to be a competitively viable story, you have to go back through and do a significant amount of work, which may almost inevitably circle back around to becoming work. Like, you know, to make it actually good. I'm not saying that, like, you should do that. I'm just saying that, like, I think to actually take an AI generated, like, novel and make it good, the amount of editing that you would have to do and rewriting and fixing is probably more time than just writing it, because you have to, like, figure out what's wrong with it first.
Yeah, like, for me, like, for example, when I'm coming up with the different factors of abilities, so, like, what are the evolutionary chains for abilities as they go up, I'll go to AI and I'll be like, okay, this one is called shade, this one is figment, this is this, like, you know, what's the next step? And they're like, you know, Aether Veil Shadow Step. And I'm like, shut the as in, like, I swear to God, like, let's, and you try and like
shadow and Aether. Anything where
it does.
It's like,
and
he's an assassin who's been hurt as a child and he's got Aether abilities. You're like,
great idea, Brian. Let's just run that through. And just, would you like me to change this? I'd be like, I'd like you to delete yourself. Like, honestly, I use AI for what it's intended as. It's your incredibly slow and incompetent assistant who's just like, it's like, oh, I'm thinking about writing this new chapter, and they're like, I like butterflies. It'd be like, great assist there. And, you know, it's like, I don't know. every time it comes up with something, I'd be like, well, at least now we know what our baseline is for unacceptable.
Yeah.
Like, so I always like, I love brainstorming with people. So a lot of people would do like, the rubber duck, as in like, talk it out with a rubber duck and like stuff like this. And with AI, I'm able to be like, okay, give us your best. And I'd be like, wow, that's what I now need to beat. So, and then I challenge myself to be better than whatever the it gave me. And with all the iterations of AI, it was a lot. It's still incredibly easy.
Yeah, it's not very good.
It's not very good.
For creative stuff, right? I mean, I think there's lots of practical applications that are like, sure, quantification of knowledge, whatever, but like generating new creative work, that's like magic. Like that's like the magic that we as a species have been working on the whole time. And I do think that the last like 10% like that LLM has to go is the part that's like not going to be possible, or it's going to take forever. Like until it can not hallucinate. I've used it, I've like fiddled with it before, and like the speed at which it begins to hallucinate is insane.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, okay, so you're, I mean, we were joking about writing drunk earlier, but like, man.
I was literally just, I was like, hey, even writing drunk, it's like, at least you can follow a thought process through.
Yeah.
I think, though, one thing that it is really cool for is like people, I was talking to someone who had dyslexia, and they were like, man, I cannot write at all. And I was like, can you speak?
Oh, dictation is great. Like AI assisted dictation, as long as it's just on cleanup, that's totally fine for me. Because you're saying the words and it's adding the punctuation. Yeah. Like that, I'm totally on board with. Like generation is where I draw the line.
Agreed. I think for editing, like grammatical rules and things like that, it's much better than Microsoft Word or things like that. Like it can certainly spot that kind of stuff, which is nice. But yeah, having it actually write anything, no.
I was like, when you know that there's a piece of information in this book, but you don't know where it is. And so I was like, okay, is there a way to search this? So I took like a chunk and I was like, find me this. And then what it came back with was like a whole new thing. It was like,
it like invented its own.
Yeah. And I was like, what are you doing? Like,
that was too hard, Michael. So I just made it up.
I just wrote you a new one. Here you go. Yeah.
You're welcome.
It's like when you caught
that was 17 gallons, by the way.
It's like
this is the name of the family that are now in a drought.
Yeah, or like it'll just change. Like it was rough to say the least. But no, I think it's a worry for a lot of people in a lot of different ways, because it's like this takes a lot of like I don't know. Like I don't think it takes a lot of simplistic tasks, but if you're like, hey, I want to start research on something, sometimes it's a good way to start, but it's definitely not the way to finish. Of like, hey, I'm thinking about this, and this. Find me something, and you're like, get sources, and then follow the sources through. But it's so unverifiable.
I found it good for translations too, right? Because like I have a bunch of Latin in Ironbound.
Oh yeah.
So like sometimes trying to figure out like which version of the word should I use, or I don't like the like Google Translate default vocab word for this word. Are there other versions I could use, or can I like structure it differently? Yeah.
Aethervale. It's like, shut
up!
That is not the past participle I was looking for. Like, I love asking it questions I know the answer to.
Oh, yeah. That's usually when I feel a lot better. I'm like, oh, you're still okay, cool.
Yeah, just like, who wrote The Good Guys? And they're like, Matt Dinniman. I was like, not even close. Eric Eugland, thank you. And they're like, would you like to hear more about Matt Dinniman? And be like, good catch. You're completely right.
I do hate that. I hate so much when you argue with it and it's like, whoa, you're correct. And you're like, what do you mean?
Gold star.
And then
does the nerdiest application
thing. And it's like, you're so right. I'm just going to go do the exact same thing. And it's going to annoy the out of you.
The nerdiest thing that I do actually use AI for is like, I play a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! And sometimes I don't understand like the rule interaction. So I'll ask it to like, explain why this works this way.
Play Yu-Gi-Oh, but all right. Yeah.
But what's really funny is if it doesn't know something, it will just wildly hallucinate and just invent rules in the game. And you're like, what?
Tap your hill cards with Slifer the Sky Dragon and be like, not even close.
You're like, what are we doing? Yeah, it's so funny. You're like, oh my God, until it learns to be like, I don't know, Bob. Like, it's worthless. It truly is.
Yeah, it's like what I tend to do now is like, I love it for financial forecasting because it's so wrong that it will quite literally just hallucinate me becoming a billionaire And I'm like, let's go. It's like, it's the new adding like a yacht to your shopping cart, being like, someday.
It's like having a court jester. Jester, tell me how I shall be rich.
Yes, well, with compounding of an average rate of 40%. I'm like, what? And I'd be like, yeah, this was recorded one time in 1958, so it's a valid thing. It's like, thank you so much. So yeah,
Yes, Jester. Tell me. No, I'm not. I am not worried personally.
So, what games are you playing?
I haven't been playing much lately.
Player obscure still.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I have not had a day off in 6 weeks or something. So I'm like, I've had 1 day, and so I also may have pissed off everyone on the plane.
Did you fart?
No, no. What I did was so you have to play it with a video, like a controller, just because it's way easier. But I was like, okay, I want to play this game, and I have 6 hours on a plane, so I'm going to play this game on this flight. And by God, did I! And it was just me with my hands stuck underneath like the table with the computer screen up like this, just like. No,
were you in business?
I was in I think it was row 38.
Nice.
So when I say the computer's like this, I mean like this. I was like, yeah! This is great. These graphics are amazing. So I had full fidelity and everything. I actually had to minimize the screen a little bit because I couldn't see properly. But yeah, I did that for 4 hours, and then I was like, wow, my legs are warm. And I forgot that a gaming laptop uses a lot of electricity and heat.
Sure do.
And I pull off my whatever the hell it is.
The epidermis of your skin just pulling.
I've turned into a sauna, and the family of 3 next to me has all of the little AC things turned to get as much air on them as possible. And I see this poor man off to my right side, plugging in his electronics, not seeing electricity, taking out of electronics, plugging it back in. And I'm like, either that doesn't work, or I am using all of the power available in this area. So yeah.
It's like being a magic user and you sucked up all the mana available.
100%.
Row 38 is now barren of mana because of me. I am the desolation.
Yeah. Oh man, I smelled so bad coming off that plane because I could just I was like this inside of it, just and then it was.
But
just
you were smiling.
Oh, I was so happy.
But at least you were happy.
Yeah, family wasn't.
Yeah, well.
This is why you need to fly private. Think of the children.
Think of the children
that won't be on your flight. It's great.
Yeah, Kendra wants to get 8 dogs.
Yeah, we knew this.
Yeah. So that's a lot to take on a plane.
There's a lot to take on a plane. Gonna have to fly private. Better write the 11th realm.
That was really good. I love that you still get the Vietnam flashbacks whenever anyone even mentions writing more of that series. You're like, sure.
Funny enough, I was in Vietnam writing that series. Yeah.
It all makes sense.
Yeah. It was, I thoroughly enjoyed that series. I had a ton of fun with that series. It's just, yeah.
You were ready to be done.
I think I did that series for 3-4 years, and I think I got 2 to 4 million words on that series.
Okay, so that's an insane range to be unsure about.
Well, I did write 3 books that were about 500,000, 600,000 words long, and then deleted all of those. And then I started again.
Okay. So I just was like, hey man, I don't know if you know, but
Andrew, you might be thinking to yourself, wow, it's so funny that, even veteran authors like Michael Chatfield made rookie mistakes, like writing all these books only to delete them. Now, if we flash forward to restarting the apocalypse, restarting is a very apt word.
7 different versions, I think, of that book 1.
In the space of a year, he wrote 875,000 words. His book 1 was 175,000 or something.
Oh, one of the reasons that Michael and I get along is we are the same kind of obsessive. I haven't done that yet, but I would.
Yeah. You go, ooh,
I would.
That's a good idea. Not quite. No.
Why do it wrong
I have
when you
deleted.
can just do it right?
We can't all be perfect. Let's all. Well, you know what? I'm gonna give Quest Academy 1 another read and just make sure I really take in all the perfection.
It's good enough. Oh man, like it's so funny because when I go back
Actually-
and I read Wild Cards and I'm like, oh man, Brian, you were writing. And then I read Quest Academy, I'm like, wow, this is so much better than Wild Cards, but man, we were really writing. And now I just wonder what I'll think in another few years when I look back and be like, my God, Brian, why? Like, so.
Well, okay. I actually had to read Amaryllia and Trap Mind Project actually last 2-3 days ago. And that is a weird experience, first of all. Like reading your book from, I'd have to Google, maybe 10 years ago. But like reading it and also being like you're detached from it because you haven't written that story for so long, but you know what's kind of coming up and such. Like the character is like, oh, I know what's going to happen to you. Wow, this scene is done really well. The way this was explained was done really well. This was done really well. And they're like these things that are done really well. And then there's something where you're just like, God, why? Why?
Yep.
Stop. Oh. And those points, you just go, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. But no, it is weird reading your own stuff years later because you're far enough removed that it's basically someone else's book. It feels like, at least.
I, about a year ago, got a foreign agent who wanted to try pitching Soul Fraud around. She said, hey, I think you did a great job for your like indie debut. However, I think that it could have just a tiny bit of touch up and have much like better sellable potential. Would you be willing to have a Simon & Schuster dev editor take a look at it, like off, on the side, and just give you some notes, and then see if you are willing to incorporate those, and if you are, then I'm going to try to pitch. And I said, sure, yeah, I'd love feedback. I can always get better. So I got a dev note back, and it was really nice, and she had a bunch of really good points, and some of which were fixable. Some of it was like your last chapter and a chapter before should switch places. Like that's actually the ending. You did them out of order, and I was like, oh yeah, okay. But then she had, a couple things like these two chapters should be merged because they like don't make sense without it. And like, oh, there needs to be like just like a little something here, a little something here. And so I had to read the whole book and then like try to insert myself into the mindset of writing a book I wrote, I published 3 years ago at this point, but finished writing like 5 years ago. And then like make it fit and adjust it. And touching it was impossible because it's like, I don't know. It's sort of like you've leveled up so much that your strength modifier is different. So you're like, you gotta be careful because it's much more fragile than I am now. And like, it took me so long to do so little because it was like so out of body.
Yeah. So I love that because like it's the fragility of it is oh man, that's a brilliant place to layer in this. Next paragraph is the thing you just layered in above it. And you're like, mother. It's like, that I look down on previous me, but he has good instincts.
He just needed a little more practice.
And that's on me for not reading further down. But
I do that all the time.
Yeah.
But I think one of the things, and I really don't mean this in a wanky way or anything like that, but the imposter syndrome for me is when, if I go back and I'm like, okay, try to, get myself back in the frame of mind after a break and stuff. I read the chapters and I look at it and I'm like, I can't write this way. Like, as in, like, it'll be, as in, like, that's not how I talk. That's not how do I write like that? And you get the imposter syndrome of, like, am I a fraud? And I've just been, like, blacking out. You know that, like, in Old School, the movie, where it's just, like, he just, like, zones out and then just gives the perfect answer about economic policy. It's just, God. That's me with writing. And I'm like, God. And then I'm like, okay, straight away before I can look at it and make myself sad.
I think that's actually every author. It's like Stephen King's book, like the one on writing, where he's literally like,
oh, it's phenomenal.
I don't know how this works. I don't know how the things get on the page, but it's me, but it's not me at the same time. Like, yeah, reading Emerald was surreal because I know what's going to happen and I know it very intimately, but it is still like, this is actually like good. And when you're in it, like, Andrew, you could definitely reflect on this because you just went through editing. I'm there right now because I'm in editing. And Brian, you will find out this soon because you're going to be in editing at some point. Just to put the fear in
next
everyone.
Few weeks for book 6.
Yeah.
The editing is always due. It always comes back.
You throw it out, and an editor.
There's never really that many changes to make because I'm just so unnaturally talented. So yeah, I give them a relatively clean copy, and I get a relatively clean copy back. So it is what it is.
Yes. Anyway, moving.
I'm gonna read redline a copy of Quest Academy and just mail it to
That's
him.
really mean to my editor. Why are you like that? Why would you bully her?
I wonder if I could get it out of her and be like, hey, could you send that over, please? But no, it is weird because it's like you feel disassociated with it, but at the same time, like so associated with it. And I think when you're editing it, it's like the super moldable like clay because you've got this thing and you're like, I know this thing inside out and how it fits together and such. And then you're just like, oh, just take that thing, shove that in there, smooth this part out. And then that works. Okay, we can just move like this thing. That's a problem because it doesn't hit as hard. Okay, let's actually put something back here, and then it's gonna make this like hit a bit more, right? And it's like a web that you know so well. Then, if you're editing the book before it, you're just like, what is this place and why am I here? You're like John Travolta in Pulp Fiction. You're just like, I don't know what's going on here, but this is new to me.
I also, when you get to the end of a draft, and you're like, what happened in the beginning?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I have no idea.
What's a
I
draft?
should go find out. Yeah, Brian.
Yeah, just one and done.
Just right. The chapters appear, and they're perfectly paced. And now he will craft for 475 pages.
Correct.
Once a week.
And then literally, you can look at any of my books, and it is so clear the moment that I've realized, I've spent way too long crafting. And it's like,
They're like, oh, the demons have attacked! Assemble everyone!
Go, go, go!
You can also tell when you're hungry.
No, but
Or need coffee.
This man,
coffee and steak.
can you tell the people what your editor said about your main character's need for energy?
Oh,
Remember
yeah.
the
That
comment?
was funny. It was just like, he was literally there trying, like, Sal, the main character, was thinking about crafting a solution to erase his exhaustion levels, because he was like, I need to be able to craft for longer. And then Michelle, the editor, quite literally wrote in, lol, a bed. And it was such a burn because Sal doesn't sleep.
I think he slept like 3 times in the entire series.
Yeah, well, it's
And
only
he's
been a
usually
week.
blackout, like, gone. Like, and it was so funny to me because everyone...
That was crazy, and he didn't hear it.
Which what?
I said, he's only slept 3 times in the entire series, and Chadfield said, yeah, well, it's only been a week.
Fair. Hey, I'll have you know that book 7 is going to round out year 1 of 3.
So 21 books to graduate.
No, I can do it in 15 to 18.
How good are you with math skills?
I already told you I use ChatGPT for my math.
Okay, so yeah,
Yeah.
I've hallucinated so many books.
So ChatGPT is be like, you're a billionaire and you can do this in 15 books.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's just like, if we compound interest those books, I'd be like, please tell me more.
Oh, 20 books to 50K. You took them real literally, huh? One series, 20 books to 50K, baby.
Man, I remember sitting down with James Hunter and I was talking to them about at my first 20 books. And I was just like, so what are you doing? I was just like, I work at Larry and I do all of this, blah, blah, blah. And I was saying, like, my series. And I was saying, like, well, I know that I need to find time to write it. And I know that it'll be maybe, hopefully, 3 to 4 books that I write before I'm able to earn my number. Like, he had asked me, what's your number to go full time? And I was saying, like, I made an agreement with my father, like, for his approval, that it would be 35,000. But realistically, if I got 23,000, I'd be able to do it. Because I have a mortgage, it's quite reasonable, everything like this. And I was saying, like, and I know it'll take 3 to 4 books. And everyone at the table went quiet. And I was like, more? And James was like, Brian, you'll probably do that with your first book. And I was like, oh, no, that's not how this... He was so f***ing right. Oh, my God.
Never bet against James Hunter, dude. Never, ever, ever, ever bet against James Hunter.
My favorite story with James, though...
Especially when he's wearing a dressing gown.
I do love that. But when I went to Vegas and I was asking everyone and being like, should I go full time? Book 1 had come out, smash hit, everyone was really liking it. No, what I mean is that within 3 months it had 1,000 ratings and reviews. In 2 months, I think. And I was like, wow. But I was saying, and everyone was saying, like, go full time, go full time, go full time. And James Hunter was the only one that said, don't. Because he had seen so many people, knock it out of the park on book 1, and then book 2 fails. And now they're So I was saying, like, he told me no. And then I was like, okay, good to know. So then that was November, December, January. In January, book 2 comes out. It's doing really, really well. And it got to the point where I was like, okay, I handed in my notice. And when I went to the train that day, I got on the train. I was like, did I make a mistake? And I got a message from James Hunter being like, hey, buddy, long time no chat. It's time to hand in your notice. And on the day I handed in my notice, he sent me the message. The one person that was saying wait finally gave his approval. And it was just the best day ever.
That's awesome.
So that's a core memory for me. And like, it's just, I love that. Like, James is just one of the sweetest people.
James Hunter really is like the patron saint of indie authors. I feel like him and Jeanette are like, if you have their like blessing to do it, then you do it, and you ask no questions.
In Madrid, I met James, and James is like golden retriever energy. He is just, he is just the most lovable man, and like just so nice, making time for everyone. He's just, we must get talking later, and then he'll literally come out later and be like, hey, you ready for that talk? And it's like, oh my god, you do as you say. Like,
you meant it. Oh.
You meant it. And I was there looking at him going like, how the does this guy run a publishing house? Shadow Alley Press. How does he run this company? Then we went into organizational structures for authors, and it was Jeanette, his wife, doing the presentation, and she was quite literally bang, 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 of like facts. And I was like, that's how you run a publishing house. You have a wife that's really good. You meet Dakota, and then you see Danielle, and then you're like, oh my god, is the secret. You meet Jens, then you see Chrissy, and you're like, oh my god, the organizational structure is the wife.
Jeanette is a wizard. Every time I talk to Jeanette, I learn like 47 things. And I'm like, Jeanette, I'm going to be taking notes during our little, like, I go see her at a con. I'm like, so good to see you. Let me just write down everything that you say. No reason. Bring one of those little, like, AI, like, this is being recorded. No reason. I need all the wisdom.
Brian, where do people find you? What are your socials?
Don't
Patreon.
Follow me on social media. Post nothing. I know I have an author page, Brian J. Norden, on Facebook. Patreon is Brian J. Norden, BrianJNordon. I don't know if this is audio only. I don't know.
I mean, they might be. It depends where they're listening, wherever listeners are.
Hey, well, whoever has listened, watched, or enjoyed this, good luck with your sanity. And we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye-bye now.
That was the best outro I've ever heard.